And we Awesome. All right, welcome everyone. My name is Jen Laurie. I am a certified holistic nutrition practitioner and a whole bunch of other titles. But more importantly, I've been in the industry teaching and learning about health for over 10 years. And I am so excited to be on here to share one of my favorite topics, which is gut health. And you're all here to learn about gut health. So we're going to dive right into it and answer questions at the end. I know that digestion is a problem for a lot of people as we get older. There's lots of reasons for it. So we're going to explore what some of those reasons might be. I'm going to share some tips, like life hacks that you can do to improve your digestion. And we're also going to share some amazing products that are super impactful that you can really utilize right away. But let's get learning first. And so I want this to be a little bit interactive here. So when I ask questions, I would love for you to answer in the chat so we can make this a little bit more interactive, a little more fun, a little more just a little more fun when it's interactive like that, right? So I'm going to share my screen here and we are just going to dive right in. So we are talking gut health tonight. Gut health, often we hear the phrase like our gut is our second brain, right? So we know that neurotransmitters are in there. Our immune health is 70% of our immune health lives right in our gut. It's really important. And we also know that a lot of symptoms in the body can stem from poor gut health. So always important to learn more and be learning constantly. You're not going to learn everything there is to learn tonight because we want to keep this short and sweet. But I do want to just share a little bit. So the digestive system plays a critical role for absorbing the nutrients, maintaining energy, and maintaining metabolism. So sometimes we can eat the perfect diet and still not see any progress with our health. That is because if we are not able to absorb the nutrients coming into our body, it's not going to actually do a whole lot for us. So digestion works by moving the food that we consume through our GI tract. It begins right from the time we start salivating. So even just by smelling food, have you ever had like all of a sudden you're literally salivating because you can smell food? That is your digestion starting right away. And it can be initiated by senses in our body, like our sense of smell. Even just looking at some food, you can be like, oh, I'm drooling, right? It looks so delicious, especially if you're a foodie. So it begins right from the time we smell the food and we're salivating, and it continues as we chew our food. And as we digest our food, it's breaking into smaller molecules if our digestion is operating in an optimal manner. So our GI tract is made up of 7 key organs. So this includes your gallbladder. Yes, your gallbladder has a very big purpose, and not all of us still have a gallbladder. However, it does have purpose. And so this talk is like really important for you if you no longer have a gallbladder, because you're going to need to do extra things to make up for the fact that there is an organ missing in your body. Your large intestine, your liver, your esophagus, your pancreas, your small intestine, and your stomach. So each of these organs have unique functions and characteristics. It is the home of unfriendly and friendly bacteria. So we hear about gut health. What does that mean? Often it's like not just the functioning, but what's inside our gut happening, right? So our good bacteria is helping us. What would be considered bad gut bacteria is the gut bacteria that's causing some symptoms, right? So we have tons of microorganisms in our gut. Typically, the weight of it is like 4 to 5 pounds, because we need to fill approximately 300 square meters of intestinal lining. I don't know if you guys understand how big that is. 300 meters is a lot, right? I'm not even 2 meters tall. So like I'm barely 1 meter tall. So it's a lot of intestinal lining to line with our healthy microorganisms in our body. So I want to ask you, so this is time for you to go in the chat. Do you or anyone you know suffer from these symptoms? Frequent headaches, fatigue, constipation, other spectrum, diarrhea, bloating, gas. And I'm not just talking about like regular, like everybody has gas, guys. It doesn't mean you're sick, but I'm talking like excessive and like super smelly gas. That is what is definitely not considered to be a good thing. Urinary tract infections, yeast infections, or yeast overgrowth in the body. Sometimes that can cause things like estrogen dominance. So for the females watching right now, that can be a big issue, especially once you enter into perimenopause and menopausal situations. Frequent colds, if your immune system is seeming to be a little suppressed. Brain fog, anxiety and depression symptoms. Do you or anyone you know have any of those symptoms? Type yes into the, oh, good. You guys are naming it. That's awesome. Lots of gut problem, brain fog, anxiety. Awesome. Okay. So share not only just, yes, I know someone, or yes, I'm experiencing some of these, but also comment how long has this been going on for? Has it been going on for the past 6 months? Has it been going on for 5 years, 20 years for Leslie? Oh my gosh. Yeah, Trent, you used to have heartburn. Heartburn is another symptom. Yes, heartburn can be another symptom. So like these things, I hear about this all the time, and sometimes we don't realize. So 10 years, Genesis, 10 years for her. Long time, Nancy, 15 years. So over time, what can happen is if we're not absorbing the nutrients, we're going to be left nutrient deficient, which then leads to symptoms. Okay. So, so much. Oh my gosh. Fatigue. Yes. Maybe since you were born. Yeah, perhaps. Right. Gut health starts from the beginning. So, yeah, Crystal, I know you've had a rough road as well. So, Benny says since her son was born, oh my gosh, pregnancy sure changes the body. It can definitely change things, things that we don't even think about. So what causes all of this? So let's look at a list of things that can be happening in our lives that may contribute to the cause of our depreciating digestion, in which why we need a little extra support so that we can possibly alleviate these symptoms. So possible causes of poor digestion. Now, type in the chat if any of this has ever happened to you. Have you ever gone for a period of time where you weren't eating a diverse range of raw, whole, natural foods? Because raw foods is where the enzymes and the nutrition lives, right? Raw foods. We all eat cooked and processed foods from time to time, so that affects it. A lack of prebiotics in our diet. We know that in North America, the average person is not consuming enough prebiotics. Prebiotics are going to be like the fiber, where many of us are not eating enough fiber in our diet, which part of what happens with that is we're not feeding our good gut bacteria, and we're also not fully eliminating properly, with which will like decrease our ability to detox toxins out of our body. Drinking too much alcohol can affect your digestion. Antibiotic, has anybody been on antibiotics before? I know I have. Any pharmaceutical use can affect a lot of different pharmaceuticals can impact the stomach and how it's operating, or your liver, right? Remember, digestion is not just like into your stomach and out the other end. It is a whole load of organs in there. And we know that some pharmaceuticals run through our liver, some impact our stomach. So it's all impacting our digestion. A lack of physical activity. Well, we know that a lot of us go through periods of time where we're not active enough, especially if we live in crazy winter climates like me, where it's like, you go outside and your face freezes immediately. Yeah, those days, like we're definitely not getting as much physical activity. Or maybe we've been suffering with some physical ailments, so we haven't been able to get regular physical activity. Exposure to cigarette smoke. I know I had lots of that when I was a kid. Maybe not so much now, but as a kid, absolutely. Not getting enough sleep, guilty right here. And it's my own fault. It's not because I can't sleep. I can hit the pillow and fall asleep immediately, but I I just do it to myself. I do it to myself. I go to bed too late. I wake up early, go to the gym. That's just my life. It's always the goal. I can always set goal to get more sleep though. Excessive stress. Has anyone gone through periods of time? Hands up if you've gone through periods of time of excessive stress. We all have. Stress is part of life, right? But if we're not managing it correctly, it can wreak havoc on the body. Now, this last thing, aging. Aging, we can't control that. We are aging no matter what we, no matter if we want to or not, we are going to age, and the natural aging process of the body decreases our ability to digest food properly. Okay, so these are just some things. There's other things that can cause poor digestion too. So what you really want to, what you're here for though, right? Like, tell me if this is what you're here for. Even come off mute and say yes so I can hear some voices. You're here to find out what you can do about it, right? Because we can talk all day long about what the problems are, but we want to know the solution. So come off mute.
Yes.
Yes.
Help.
Yes. Yes. Tell me what to do. What do I do? Right? Okay. So what do we need to do? Here is some things you can do. Chew your food, the simplest of things. We don't chew our food enough. So when you are eating your food, make sure you are chewing it thoroughly. I am guilty of this too. Guys, I'm not perfect. I might know what to do, but I don't always do it, right? I know you've heard it before, to make sure you chew your food. We're supposed to chew it for 32 bites every single time we are chewing food, because our stomach is not made to chew. We don't have teeth in our stomach. And so we need to help our stomach out by chewing our food, because our stomach cannot break everything down effectively. We need to start, remember, digestion starts in the mouth with the chewing and the saliva. So make it a habit to count to 32 bites. It's hard to do. Has anyone tried to do this before? I'd love to hear. Come off mute and share if you've ever tried to take like 32 bites.
I've tried
every
many
time you
times.
eat. Who's that?
Crystal. I've
Okay.
tried many times.
And how is it work for you? It's hard.
I fail. It's hard.
It's hard. So even if you did 15 bites, you're probably going to be biting more than you are right now. So make it a goal. Make it a goal to even hit 15. If you're not doing 15, or if you're already doing 15, try for 20. Do it a little bit more. Just be a little more slow down when you're eating, be conscientious when you're eating, and chew your food. Bite it. Help your digestion out by breaking it up in your mouth before it hits your goes down the tract. Okay. So next thing you can do is manage your stress. We all have stress. We can't avoid stress. But what are you doing on the daily, on the weekly, to help manage your stress? Because there's lots of things we can do. We can exercise and move our body to flow the stress out of our body. One of the things you can do when you're having a really stressful moment. Okay. Have you ever watched a dog after they got really excitable? They shake and they shake their body off. Have you ever seen a dog do that? I know lots of us have dogs. Yeah. Okay. So
I have 2 wiener dogs and I watch it all the time. They do it every time.
When they're like heightened and they have like adrenaline flowing through their body and hormones flowing through their body and they're really excited, they shake after, or they do just like a little shimmy thing. So when you're really stressed out, or you're feeling like fully overwhelmed with the world, I want you to stand up and shake your body and shake it out, because all animals in the wild do this instinctually. We as humans have forgot this instinct. So in order to flow those negative impact, like the fight or flight hormones in our body. Okay. So we're talking about our adrenaline and all of the things that get heightened. We need to actually flow it through our body, because if it stays in our body, it causes problems in our body. So we need it to flow out. And one of the ways to flow it out is move your body. So even just do a little shake. I know whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed by the world or super excited, it can be super excited too, I do this little shake thing. It looks ridiculous, but I know that it's flowing those hormones through my body, releasing them from my body so that I don't hold onto them. Okay. So that's one thing you can do. Animals do it in the wild. Think about, like, if you ever watch a nature show and you're watching the cheetah chase some sort of deer or antelope or whatever they're chasing in the field, and they're zigzagging and they're stressed and it gets away, and you're still watching, the camera goes over to it and they jump up and do this little kick thing before they walk away. That is them releasing the stress hormones from their bodies. Hands up if that's something new you've never heard before, or say yes into the chat. I want to know if this is something new you've never heard before, or if it's something you already knew and that you already practice. New to you. Hey, Leslie. Okay. I'll let you process that information. Yes, new to quite a few of you. That's awesome. Yay. That's good. My goal is to give you some information that is new to you so that you can take it and utilize it. So the other ways that you can manage stress is through meditation. Go ahead and put it in the chat if you do yoga or meditation or breathing exercises of any kind. That is helping you manage your stress. Creative expression. What is creative expression? That can be any form of art. It could be dancing. It could be making music, any of those things. It could even, did I say dancing? I think I said dancing. So any sort of creative expression can also help decrease the stress in your body. Okay, helps you stay grounded. Another thing you can do to improve your gut health is reduce sugar consumption. So the only way to kill bad bacteria in your body is to starve it, and it lives off of sugar. So refined sugars. I am not telling you to stop eating fruit. Please eat all the fruit in the world. It's amazing. But I'm talking about added sugars that are in processed foods. That is the way to starve out that bad bacteria and let that good bacteria flourish. Next thing, we talked about it already, sleep. Practice good sleep hygiene. What is good sleep hygiene? Good sleep hygiene means preparing your body for sleep before it goes to sleep. One of the things you can do, does anybody in here who's watching the live right now struggle with falling asleep at night or staying asleep? Oh, okay. I got 2 hands up on the screen right here. I can only see a few of you, but I got hands up right on my screen here. So yes. Okay. So yes, sleep hygiene. How can you prepare your body? Well, number 1, turn your screens off at least 2 hours before you plan to go to sleep. Nancy, I saw that. Guilty. I don't have any trouble falling asleep though, but I'm telling you, like, if you struggle, turning the screens off helps, but also creating a routine for yourself. Okay, so you want to create a routine for yourself where you do the same thing every night, so your body is like instinctually knowing what comes next. Okay, so dimming the lights in your house can also help. So making everything dark is going to help, like mood lighting. Think mood lighting. If you have like those Himalayan salt lamps, those are really great. Bringing that calm, cool light in is going to help boost your melatonin production, which is going to help your sleep cycle. So creating something relaxing to do, maybe reading instead of scrolling Facebook at night, that's a better option. Or listening to music. One of the things I've been doing is we go to bed and then I tell Mark, and like, pick a song, play a song for me. I just tell him, play a song for me. So we take turns playing songs before bed now. So we listen to music before I go to bed. And that's kind of what I've been doing instead of scrolling Facebook. We just like play songs until we fall asleep. And it reminds me when I was a teenager and I'd like have my headphones on and listen to music for hours before I fell asleep. But anyways, side note. So these are some good practices for sleep hygiene. What else can we do? Well, prebiotics, right? We talked about prebiotics, not getting enough prebiotics. What are some good foods to get prebiotics? Some raw dandelion greens, raw garlic, raw and cooked onions, raw asparagus. Those are just some of the foods with prebiotics, good healthy prebiotics in there. What are the benefits of eating prebiotics? Better gut health and improved digestion, enhanced immune function and cancer protection. We want that. Lower inflammation. We want that. Help with weight loss maintenance. Want that. Hormone regulation, improved moods. Who wants all of the above? Yeah, right? We all want all of the above. So prebiotics and prebiotic foods, okay? Next, probiotics. We talked about healthy gut bacteria, probiotics. So foods like yogurt, kefir, kimchi, miso dressing, sauerkraut, anything fermented is going to have the healthy probiotics in there. Kombucha, make your own because the store-bought one's full of sugar. I'm sure someone local to you makes kombucha and can get you started. What are the benefits? It aids in digestion. It assists in the absorption of nutrients. Remember, we talked at the very beginning, if you're not absorbing the nutrients from your food, it's not going to be helpful for you. It's going to help fight yeast and bad bacteria overgrowth. It prevents and controls diarrhea. It helps prevent skin conditions like eczema and acne. Improving and protecting the immune system, protects against disease-causing pathogens. It can also help decrease the carcinogenic components in the intestinal tract. So carcinogens are things that can cause cancer. So probiotics, who wants probiotics in their life? Probiotic foods, and we can get probiotics other ways as well. So what are the benefits of digestive enzymes? Enzymes are a key component to being able to break down our food. So the benefits are improving immunity, pain relief. Who would have thought enzymes could help with pain relief? We're going to talk a little bit about that. Blood cleansing and scar tissue repair. Anybody ever injured themselves? Right, you need scar tissue repair. So foods like avocados, papaya, wheatgrass juice, garlic, cucumbers, those are all foods with really high enzymes. Reality is raw foods, right? Raw, fresh fruits and vegetables, that is where you're going to get some really great enzymes. But the reality is we don't always eat perfectly for our digestion, right? So we have a product we'd like to share with you that optimizes your digestion. So this product is called Enrich, okay? Enrich actually has 11 different digestive enzymes, which helps break down your protein, the gluten. Does anyone have gluten sensitivities? I'm not talking about celiac. Just like gluten sensitivities where maybe you get some bloating or some digestive issues after you're eating like bread, stuff like that. Maybe you just kind of feel yucky after. This will help break that down. Breaking down the serrapeptidase, it helps break down damaged tissues so that your body can regenerate, okay? We have amylase, which helps break down starches. We've got three whole digestive enzymes in there that break down the carbohydrates and the sugars. We've got plant fibers, dairy. I'll let you read all that. It has chelated minerals. It's got 1 billion CFUs of probiotics and it has prebiotics. I'm going to tell you a little bit about those. So again, we can tell you like all about the food and stuff, but reality is we're not always eating that way. So this is one of those life hacks. Having this product where you can just take one. You're going to hear in just a short moment some testimonies of people who have used this product and have been seen insane results from it, so that you can just hear from real people just like you. Okay, so Enrich actually uses an array of enzymes specifically selected to help digest all the 5 major food groups. It's formulated to adapt to a variety of stomach acid pH conditions. So whether you have good digestion or poor digestion, it's going to kind of modify itself to make sure it operates and functions perfectly for the body. So it's a one-stop shop for digestive health. It not only takes care of those enzymes your body needs to break down the food to the smallest molecular molecules so that you can actually absorb and utilize the nutrients. It's also going to feed your gut so that you can It's going to give those prebiotics to the healthy probiotics so that you can actually utilize all the nutrients that are going to be flowing through your body. So again, one-stop shop. We love, love, love this. And so your body uses special cells in order to make digestive enzymes. However, we often have decreased production of enzymes, which is why we have these problems. We're not necessarily deficient in some, drug to help us with our symptoms. We're deficient in the enzymes. It's not breaking down our food, and then that causes the problem, because sometimes factors like age, stress, lifestyle, and genetics restrict the enzyme production. So maybe some of you who had those problems right from birth, like some of you shared that you've been having problems with digestion for like ever, as long as you can remember, possibly from birth. Maybe you know some children in your life that struggle. That can be genetics that restrict the production of enzymes and limit. And what happens is it limits the access to valuable nutrients. So that's when it comes. So I just wanted to talk a few specific things about the extra things that are in there, because we never usually see digestive enzymes alongside all of the other things. So I just want to make sure I have all the right information for you. So here are some of the key ingredients in the products. Okay, there's licorice root. Licorice root is a powerful antioxidant that not only supports digestion, but it also protects your cellular health too. Okay, so we're not just talking about an enzyme that's going to break down. We also have these support nutrients that are going to improve your ability to digest. There's artichoke in there, so it's loaded with nutrients. Artichoke helps to improve the digestive health and the ease of digestive discomfort. So one of the cool things is you can actually, my friend Sandra, I don't know if you're on here, Sandra, are you on here right now? You can come off mute if you're on here, but Sandra messaged me today.
Yes.
Oh, there you are. So Sandra, what did you message me today? Read your message to me.
Okay. I went to Costco. I was in a hurry and I didn't have time to eat supper. And so I stopped and I got something to eat. And then in the middle of the night, my stomach was hurting. And so I got up and got one of those Enriches, and it was gone.
So did you take it or did you break it open on your tongue?
I just took it.
Oh, you just took it. Okay. You can also break it open and put it on your tongue. And so if you kind of miss taking an Enrich, it can even be active afterwards, which is super cool, right? So it also has inulin in it, which is a dietary fiber that's great for improving that digestive health. It has glutamine in it, which is an amino acid, which is a building block of protein. So it promotes digestion and like good digestion and brain health as well. So it can also help with boosting athletic performance and is helpful in supporting with gut and intestinal issues. So the serapeptidase, it is actually the thing that actually can help to break down those damaged tissues. So we're talking about the scar tissue and help with pain and stuff like that. That is one of the ingredients that can help with that. Yeah, and then it also helps break down fat. So anyone with gallbladder issues previous or gone gallbladder, it's going to help you break down the fats because your gallbladder is no longer there to help you with that. You're going to need extra help with that. And then, of course, dairy. It's got the digestive enzyme to help with dairy. I know a lot of people struggle with digesting dairy. So we're going to just do a little fun little demo here for you guys. So I'm just going to stop share for a minute so we can all see Benny. Benny's going to do a little demo for us to show us this product in action.
All right. So I have a pudding pack here. And Jen was talking about food. So obviously this is a processed food here. So we're going to use it as a demonstration. So show of hands, has anyone ever eaten a processed or cooked food before? Yes. So this is a highly processed food. So it's the perfect thing to do a demo on how these work. That's not coming apart. We'll just keep going. Okay. Lowering the screen here. So here is the pudding. You can see how thick this pudding is. So I'm going to put 1 to 2 digestive enzymes in the pudding, which is what we do before we eat. And I'm going to give it a stir. And then we're going to see what happens after everyone does their shares. So you're going to see it start to bubble and liquefy. And I always love to give people a couple practical tips as well. So as Jen was saying, you can break a capsule over your tongue. Also, the important thing is you take them. So I pack meal prep in these little containers and make sure that I'm getting them in. I try and take them about 10 minutes before I eat. So we're going to leave that for a minute, Jen. And let
Okay.
it do its
Right.
job.
Well, it's doing its thing. So it's going to bubble up and we're going to see what happens to it. But I would love to invite Trent on to share his experience using Enrich. Trent, can
Yeah.
you jump on? Awesome.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jen. I'm pretty excited to be here. There's lots of people here, so it's nice to share and get the message out because I started probably my late 20s, early 30s. I think right after I started having kids, the stress in your life happens, and I got heartburn almost daily. And some foods are worse. And as I got older, it was more often. And when I started dating Benny, she was asking, well, what kind of foods give you heartburn? And I started saying mentioning foods, steak, pasta and sauce. And she's like, well, that's everything. I said, yeah, it is pretty much. So then I started taking the Enrich, and within, I think, a week and a half to 2 weeks, Benny said to me that she's like, you haven't complained about heartburn for like a week now. And I thought about it, and it was true. There was just nothing there. So now it's been, I guess, about 6 months, probably 6.5 months, and I haven't had any heartburn at all. There's been a few times where I've overeaten, had 6 or 8 slices of pizza, and I was bloated, but no heartburn, which is 2 pieces would give me heartburn before. And it's
Oh,
just amazing.
wow.
And then on top of that, down about 8 pounds just from digesting my food and clearing out my intestines. So it was
Yeah. Wow.
amazing.
Yeah. That's the other perk, guys. If
Yeah.
you're not digesting your food properly, your body's holding on to it, which is going to weigh you down, quite literally, right?
And
So
I
it's
think
like,
I think my skin got clearer too.
oh, I bet. So one of the things that we often use when we have heartburn is antacids, right? You might Tums or who pops those things or has in the past.
Gaviscon all day.
Gaviscon, Pepto, any of those things, right? I know I used to years ago until I learned about this. Okay. So what is going to happen if you've ever popped those things? You just killed all your digestive enzymes, right? So now you are not going to get the nutrients from your food because you cannot actually, because we need hydrochloric acid to break down our food. If we are popping those things, we are actually it's gone, right? And so it's really important to not necessarily put Band-Aids on things when we have other options. And this is an amazing option to help relieve that symptom by correcting what's happening in the body, right? And so it's going to, remember, I was telling you that it balances that pH, right? It's going to balance that pH. So you're going to naturally have that happen instead of just pushing it down, which is kind of going to possibly do further damage to your digestive system. Thank you so much for sharing, Trent.
Can I jump in and say one more thing? Because
Yeah.
something you said today kind of clicked in my head is you said, if you have gas and stuff, I still get gas, but to get a bit personal, I used to have very stinky gas, I would say. But I've noticed that I don't anymore. That just kind of dawned on me the other day.
Yeah. Yeah. So that could, there's gas. We all have gas that makes us human, but the excessive, the really uncomfortable and, uncomfortable because you're sitting on the couch beside the person that just let it go. Right. Exactly. Those are the things that aren't necessarily considered healthy. Okay. I would love to have one more person share in this moment. Leslie, are you able to come off mute and share your story with the Enrich?
Hey, yeah, I am. So can you guys hear me? It's all good?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, so mine is really just that I have always been the kind of person who pooped every maybe 3 or 4 days, and I just like my whole adult life, like I don't even remember doing it ever like more frequently than that, and always super uncomfortable. And if you think about like how much can accumulate over that amount of time, like it's just kind of a disaster in all sorts of different ways. You always want to make sure you're at home, or there might just be like the one place that you can do it. It's just there's all sorts of things that come from it. It's really uncomfortable. But to me, I was like, poop every day, like that's too much. Like I was like, that sounds crazy, even though I knew in my mind that's what it was supposed to be. So I started taking the Enrich, and I want to say within like the first week and a half, probably, it was just an everyday thing, and sometimes 2 times a day. So I'm like, so I was laughing because I'm like, I've become this poop a day person, which is like great. It's like predictable. It always feels very empty, like very empty, which is really nice. And then I also noticed I used to get really, really bad dry scalp all the time. And I started taking a collagen, and I thought, and it started to go away, and I thought, oh, that's great. But I actually ran out of the Enrich, and I was like, oh no. And it came back, and I was like, it's the Enrich. So it's that gut health connection to skin and all these other things that like,
Oh my God.
again, my stylist is like, she's going to lose her mind because she's been doing my hair for 20 years. And she's going to, the next time I go, she's going to be like, what happened to your scalp? Like, because she's known the whole time I'm always super uncomfortable about it. And it's like, so just all these little things, but yeah, way less, like just feels so good and energetic after I eat, which is like that process, right? We should eat and then we should get energy once we've eaten. And I never really had that. It would be like, ugh, I ate and like, oh, whatever. And now it's like I eat and I'm like, oh yeah, my body's like, thank you for all the nutrients. Let's go do some stuff. Like,
Amazing.
So yeah, that's my, yeah.
That is so amazing. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that extra. It's the first
Yeah.
time I heard that with it, but it totally makes sense, right? Gut health is directly connected to our skin. If we are having poor skin health, it's a direct reflection to what's happening in our gut. So if you have any sort of skin issues, directly right into the gut. So thank you so much, Leslie. We're going to have one person share after I share the next couple of things. So the next product I wanted to share with you
Jen,
is,
do you want me to show the pudding?
oh yes, thank you. I get so sidetracked. Go
That's
ahead.
okay. So while these guys were sharing, you can see the pudding is liquefied. I'm going to show you exactly how liquefied it is. It just cleans right out. You see that?
It's like water, which our body can process far easier than chunky pudding.
And that blows my mind every time I do this demo with my son. He understands digestion, I think, better than I did like 6 months ago. So it's great.
Yeah. So that's it, breaking down all of those molecules into those smaller absorbable forms. So it doesn't come out on the other end that way, right? We always have to mention that. It's just literally going to help. So yes, we added the Enrich to the pudding.
And I'll just add, Jen, that Mav actually had a stomach ache when he came home from school today. So I mixed it Enrich up in some juice and water and gave it to him. And he was out the door playing within 20 minutes.
Wow.
And he had bowel surgery when he was a baby.
So he definitely needs that extra support, right? So amazing. Okay, so the next product I want to talk about is called Nourish. It's our protein / like meal replacement shake. And it has got some really cool ingredients that directly impact gut health. And that's why I'm going to talk about this one. We don't normally talk about this one very much, but it is an amazing product and you can learn more about it. We actually have a phenomenal video that whoever sent you here would be able to give you access to that video of one of the doctors in our product advisory board talking about the Nourish and actually showing the scientific studies behind it. So if you are a detail person like me and you geek out on stuff like this, like don't be afraid to ask for the video. It's super interesting for lots of us who love like the details of things. So we already were talking about the gut skin connection and how it's tied directly to our microbiome, right? So we have this meal replacement that is amazing. It has beneficial bacteria in it, it's got something called galacto oligo. Oh my God. Oleo.
Oliglo?
We short it to oliglo, but it's actually galacto oligosaccharides is the full scientific name of it. And I'm just gonna call it GUS. I'm gonna call it GUS. Okay. GOS is the acronym for it. So it's a prebiotic fiber that acts as food for the good bacteria in our intestines. It fuels the beneficial microflora in our body. It helps regulate our microbiome. It allows for improved digestion and gut health support. It also makes postbiotics. Have you ever heard the term postbiotics before? Now, so you're going to learn something new right now. So postbiotics actually help improve gut acidity for better water and mineral absorption in the colon. So remember, digestion does not just like stop, it's like a whole tract of things, right? This is going to help with the colon, which can help strengthen the gut and support the gut barrier. Okay. So, let's talk about what all is in this Nourish. First of all, has anybody tried the Nourish? You want to share like how delicious that brownie batter flavor is?
Oh my gosh, I love the brownie batter, but I actually really love the coconut cream.
I wasn't sure about the coconut
My-
cream, but then I like it kind of tastes like a vanilla cupcake to me.
Yes.
So
I, was
I,
like,
I love
that's the one
both
I
of
would add
them.
fruit to. Like, ugh.
I was thinking
They're
today,
good.
because I'm crazy like that. I was like, what if we mixed both together? It'd be like a chocolate brownie vanilla cupcake.
It is. I've done it. I did a half and half once and I was like, this is the best. It's so
Right?
good.
I know. I'm going to try it. I just thought of it today. But anyways, okay, so our microbiome is the collection of trillions of microbes living within our GI tract, right? So many of which are beneficial, and we can improve the health of the good microbes by what we put in our body. We know this, right? So this our superfood blend called Nourish contains 9 superfoods perfect for nourishing our microbiome. It has organic fermented barley grass, which provides a rich source of chlorophyll and other plant pigments. It is a plant-based protein base. It's going to help with elimination. We talked about the importance of elimination for gut health. It is going to help your overall digestive health. The galacto oligosaccharides are the prebiotic factors that are, really associated with a healthy microbiome. So not only does it have this amazing stuff in it, it also has biofermented vitamins from Whole Foods. It has chelated minerals. Has anyone heard that term before? Chelated minerals? Or is that new for some of you? So the majority of supplements on the market are not containing chelated minerals. When we have minerals that are chelated, they are more accessible and usable for our body. So our body will recognize it like it recognizes food, which is going to allow our body to absorb it and utilize the nutrients more effectively. Okay, so that is what you're looking for when you're looking for a vitamin complex with minerals. You're looking for making sure those minerals are chelated and that the vitamins are coming from whole food sources. Your body's going to be able to utilize it more. Have you ever heard like some supplements, it's like you're wasting money because you're just peeing it down the toilet? Yeah, because they're not all created equally, right? And so this is part of the factors here. I just want to make sure I took some notes, so because I get sidetracked. So yeah, we're going to have that better absorption and utilization of the nutrients. And let's see if there's anything else. All right, that is our, I'll show you what it looks like. It is amazing, but so it has the biofermented vitamins, chelated minerals, which imitates how real natural foods enter and interact with our body, allowing for better absorption, spelling error, and utilization. Look at me. So that is what that is another product that can be extremely beneficial for the body. We're going to just talk about one more product, and then we're going to talk about how the heck can you get this in your life so that you can start benefiting like everyone's sharing. So we have a third product that really helps with gut health. It is our liquid collagen product. Everyone's heard of collagen before, right? Hands up if you've heard of collagen. Again, just like other supplements, they're not all created equally. One of my favorite things to do is compare. So if you have a brand that you're curious about, please send it my way. I will share all the differences. It actually gets me really excited because when you send me like labels to compare and show you, it just affirms for me that I'm consuming the one that's going to make a biggest impact on my body. So what makes this collagen different? It's a type 1 collagen. Type 1 collagen, over 90% of our collagen in our body is type 1 collagen. It is also broken down into small peptides using fruit enzymes. Not all companies are doing that. So our hydrolyzation process actually utilizes a whole antioxidant formula using fruit, and that is breaking it into the small peptides. So it is literally absorbing on our tongue as we drink it. It is a liquid collagen. If you're looking at different collagens to see which one is the right one for you, just make sure you take note that powder collagens and pill form collagens have a maximum absorption of 30%. Our collagen, this collagen in particular that I'm talking about is called Glow because it makes your skin glow. It actually has over 90% absorption rate. Okay. Again, if our body can't utilize it, it's not going to do anything for us, right? It's not going to do anything significant for us. So there is also all kinds of things in there, but we want to talk about just gut health. So it's going to have all these extra side effects for you that you might hear about in a minute here. But note that we're talking gut health right now. Why is it collagen important? Because collagen is the structural protein in our body. And it's, again, one of those things that over time we stop being able to produce it in our body ourselves. So we need to supplement because we're not eating foods that contain collagen in it, because we're not eating things like chicken feet, cowhide, like organ meat, fish scales. We're not eating things like that. So we're not consuming it in our diet. Therefore, we need to supplement with it. And this is much tastier than fish scales, I would say, and more effective. So, lost my train of thought there. Okay. So what are we talking about this for? Because structural protein. So we do know that, like with collagen, we get nice hair, skin, nails. It's stronger. We think structural protein, right? But note that every cell in your body needs a structural protein. So we're not just talking about this. We're talking about every organ in your digestive tract, all 7 of them. We're talking about your gut lining, making sure your gut lining is strong and intact. This is what's going to help build those cell walls. Okay. Yes. So that is what is important about it. So I would love to invite Beth. Are you here, Beth? There you are. I see you. I would love to invite Beth
here.
to talk about her experience. I know you have a story about Enrich as well, but if you can share a little bit about the collagen and how it has impacted your life, I would love for you to share.
I would be happy to do that. And I started out using both the collagen and Enrich at the same time. And I also use Nourish quite frequently. So I'm actually using all of the products that you've talked about tonight. But I'm going to try and make this as quick as I can, but I have fibromyalgia. I've had it since I was at least in my 20s. I'm now 58. And over the last couple of years, I started to develop osteoarthritis. I mean, I know that arthritis was coming for a long time because I've developed it slowly, but the last, I'd say 4 years, it really kicked up into high gear. And I'm now on my left knee, I'm basically bone on bone, and I'm scheduled to have a knee replacement at the end of April. Yay, finally. And then my right knee is probably going to come about a year later. So by last August, I was at a point where I could barely walk across, like, from one end of my house to the other without needing the cane for support. I was in so much pain constantly. I was exhausted all the time. I couldn't, you know, my quality of life wasn't great. I remember one day I went out thinking it was a gorgeous day. I'm going to go out, I'm going to get some gardening done, because I hadn't had the energy to do anything like that. And I went outside. I had to take the recycling down to the end of the curb. So I had to do a couple of trips up and down the driveway. And by the time I was done that, I was in so much pain, I had to go inside and sit down. That's the state I was in at that point. And, you know, when that happens, it affects so many things. I couldn't take the dogs for a walk. I couldn't stand outside while my grandkids were playing without having to try and find somewhere to sit. I also had some major gut issues, since we're on the topic of gut issues. I had IBS, which often happens with fibromyalgia, which is irritable bowel syndrome. And I would get an IBS attack at least once every 1 to 2 weeks. And that would be, I'd end up with, you know, a day where I couldn't leave the house, couldn't be away from the bathroom. And that can be really very problematic as well. So I started on the products. I started primarily with Glow and Enrich after Benny, thank you very much, Benny, called me and suggested I try these. And I found after a couple of days, I wasn't as stiff. My joints were moving. Within a week, I was starting to walk like a normal person again. And I'm not really going to go into a lot of the aches and pains and issues, but over the months since I've started taking it, my skin has become clearer. I can move again. I'm not using my cane. I only take it when I know I'm going to be standing for a long period of time or walking a distance, but I don't need to use it every day. I am finding that the IBS, I've had maybe one issue of IBS in the last 6 months. And that was kind of, I hadn't even thought about that because I was so blown away by how well my joints and my body was feeling that I didn't even think about what my gut was doing until about 4 months ago, or a couple of months ago. I think it was Leslie said something about the poop a day, and I kind of went, huh. I all of a sudden realized I had not had an IBS attack in over 4 months at that point. And yeah, that was another one. I was just like, oh my God. And I think I've had one in 6 months, and it was really minor as opposed to where I was basically, you know, having to be near the bathroom for the next, 12 hours. So big changes. I'm also finding my stomach isn't bothering me on a day-to-day basis as much. My skin is clearer. My psoriasis is improving. It's not gone away, but it seems to be improving. The fibromyalgia is improving incredibly. I mean, I feel like I've got my life back. And I think a lot of that is because the Glow and the Enrich and the Nourish and it's all working to help heal my gut and my body and everything else altogether.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Beth, for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
I love that you're feeling better, and I just can't wait to see, like, 6 months from now, you're going to just feel even better, which is incredible.
I feel 10 years younger than I used to.
Well, we know you look 10 years younger.
Oh,
too.
I know. And I've had
I
people
feel like we're
comment
all
about
getting that happen, right? That's amazing. That's just a little perk. But so one of the things I have to mention is that we're not making any claims to heal, cure, or treat any of these things. All we know is that when we put into our body what our body needs, we feel better. And at the end of the day, hands up if you want to feel better. Right? Doesn't matter what's happening, what diagnosis we have. We just want to feel good. And that is what we are trying to do tonight, is give you some tips to help you feel good. So I'm going to pass it over to Benny. Benny's going to share with you how to get these products. While she gets started to talk about that, I want you to just type into the chat what of the 3 products we really shared about. There's more things that can help, but with that, just the 3 things we shared about, what is the one thing that you would be most excited to get your hands on right away so you can start having some of these benefits? Type that into the chat while Benny gets started.
All right. Thank you, Jen. So, when I came to hear about some of the Trinont products, I was so excited for the collagen. And then Trent, my boyfriend who shared, I heard about the Enrich and I really wanted him to try that. So I'm going to share with you guys how you can get your hands on the products. There's two different ways. So I'm just going to share my screen here for a minute. Okay, so you can order the products as a customer or an associate. And everyone who actually shared tonight, they ordered the products as an associate, because when you feel 10 years younger, like Beth, or I know Trent takes his enzymes to bowling, and you want to share that with other people. So the main difference of associate and customer is, as an associate, you get access to these associate bundles, and you also get a
I
website.
use most of all of this stuff.
So you can have access to these bundles. So you'll see some of these bundles here. The platinum has everything we talked about tonight. The bronze beauty, the silver wellness is one that's great. The gold bundle. So if you're interested in seeing more close up of these bundles or kits, just put it in the comments so we can make sure we can give you guys that information. Just going to try and go back a slide here if I can. Nope, wrong way. Well, this is one of the perks of being an associate.
Yeah.
So, and that is that we have an amazing Jeep program. So there's actually 6 other ways that you can earn when you start the business. But the main one is you get a website so that you can then share with your friends and family. So if you want to know more about the business side of things, just let us know. I'm just going to go back to this slide for 1 second here. So as I was saying, and then as customers, when you go on subscription, which you can turn on and off at any time, you get an extra 10% off. Put your hands up if you like savings.
Me.
I do. You can get another 4% off. So a total of 14 with subscription when you order 3 or more products. So if you got the Nourish, the Enrich, and the collagen, you'd save 14% on subscription. And if you get 5 or more products, you want to order them for someone else, you get 18% off with subscription. So those are the 2 major ways. And as I was saying, Leslie, Beth, Trent, all are associates and have actually earned that Jade rank in just a few months. And there's Leslie and her Jeep. There's Trent and I with our Jeeps, and Jen has one as well. Anything you want to add to that, Jen?
No, I just want to say thank you all, because I know we're just a little bit over time. So we'll wrap it up here, but I just want to let you know, like, reach out to whoever either invited you here to watch live or whoever invited you by sending you a recording, and they will help you out. And I hope this was helpful for you. You can reach out to me directly and just let me know what tips were helpful for you and what you're going to try and implement, because I would love to hear how that's going for you. And then just let the person who invited you here know if you would like the associate link, or if you would like, or maybe you just need more information before you go that route, or if you want a customer link, and that's totally cool too. And then just make sure to hit subscribe. Nobody likes to pay full price. You remember, you're not locked into anything, and you never know. Once you try it, it just might change your life. And if it would be worth it, try it for 30 days. I'm telling you, it's not going to take 30 days for you to notice a difference, but try it for 30 days. You're going to love it. It's going to change your life. And then you're going to think of all the people in your life that you want to help change their lives too. Because that's what at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So thank you guys so much for being on here live. I love that I got to interact with you, and I love that I got to see your beautiful faces. Thank you right from coast to coast in Canada tonight. We are signing off, and love it. Okay.